Welcome everyone. This is the Green City podcast number 7, where we discuss the business side of green businesses. Today, our guest is Francesco Cappellini. He's the co-founder of nopla, sustainable lifestyle products. Welcome, Francesco.
Hi there. Thanks a lot for having me, man. Really love your podcast. Good stuff, man.
Thanks. Can you tell us a bit about what is nopla, what you guys do?
Of course. So we're called nopla, which stands for no plastic. And we are here because we see a no plastic future. And we offer products for a no plastic lifestyle. So from active living to personal hygiene. And with no plastic lifestyle, we mainly mean a lifestyle which is sustainable and ethical towards the planet, with a focus on plastic waste, meaning both disposable plastic products and disposable plastic packaging. So right now we're selling online through our e-store at nopla.store. We're also selling on other eco marketplaces online. And recently we started more also having a physical presence in coffee shops. And we also started some local markets and fairs, which is a lot of fun. Very fun, very fun.
Great. Can you tell us a bit more about your story, Francesco? Why did you choose to create this brand or co-found this brand?
Absolutely. So it was me and the other co-founder, Mia, and we were trying to conduct a bit more of an eco-friendly lifestyle. However, we realized that there was a lack of options available that really appealed and that we really resonated with the brands. So we started developing a little bit of what we may call eco anxiety. So we understood all the problems that our lifestyle was creating, but we didn't really find a solution. And the few solutions available either required a lot of maintenance, which we didn't have that much time being students at university at the time and juggling also other jobs. And also they were maybe over budget, or as I said before, we simply didn't resonate with the brand, so we didn't feel proud to actually bring it out with us and talked about it with our friends. So we realized we had the resources around us. Well, we obviously had the idea, and then we realized we had the resources around us to actually make it happen. So we just sort of went for it. It was a long ride, but here we are, and it's up and running. Yes.
Great. Uh, I've seen your products, man, and they are beautiful to watch. They're like they're
Oh,
well designed. Can you walk us through that process of building a product from scratch, like the design process, the prototyping, the all the process to take it to completion?
absolutely. Thanks a lot, man. I appreciate you like our products. And this is very much Mia's side of things, because we're lucky because we managed to split our roles within the company quite distinctively, meaning I take care more of the business side of things, so budgeting, finances, marketing, and she takes care more of the design elements and visual elements. And there's obviously some areas where our roles sort of like overlap and we work together. However, the main sort of the way we came up with the products was very much looking out what was available, what was there, why didn't we resonate with it, why was it so expensive, and then we just simply started to try and make the process as efficient and as cheap for consumers as well as possible. And then the aesthetics of them, I'm very lucky to work with Mia. She's a great designer. Also our website, we always get a lot of compliments luckily from it, and she put a lot of work into trying to optimize um, the flow of the sort of the customer journey through the website, and where do visual elements pop up, what shades of orange, what shades of blue. She took a lot of time into making sure everything was exactly how she wished, and also just to make it work with my side of the job. So with marketing, Instagram page, and all of that. So it all integrated, and there was a clear identity with everything we do.
So you decided together what was going to be that identity before starting your products?
Absolutely. We very much wanted to target younger millennials, because we felt like a lot of eco brands out there were targeting a bit older clientele with some financial disposability, but also the identity of those brands were very, very strictly related to those personas. So they were very earthy tones of colors, a lot of cursive in the writing, very feminine as well in the way they looked. And so we wanted to give a bit more of a fresh, bold, look to this whole eco-friendly movement. And so, yeah, we went for, I always loved orange, was my favorite color since I'm a little kid. And luckily also Mia absolutely loves the color. So then we decided to make orange sort of our main identity. And we partnered it with its complementary color blue so that you can get a bit of an option. And we tried to be inclusive. We didn't want colors which were either too feminine or too masculine. We wanted something fairly neutral because we definitely understand that there is no such thing as a really masculine or feminine brand, and we need to be more inclusive.
Great. I really encourage anyone that is listening that you see the Instagram account of Nopla because
Cheers.
it's beautiful to watch, man. Like they really not just the product themselves, but the composition of the colors and the imagery. It's just like a lesson for everyone that wants to build a brand to look at that at their Instagram account and their overall branding. And from what I understand, you combine form and function, not just function, which is something that I see in a lot of green products that just leave the function and don't pay attention to the form.
Absolutely. Yes. We really much wanted to have products that we were proud to carry around and show our friends and talk about them, and so yes, we spent a lot of time into creating this whole brand identity with the color palette, the fonts, the all of it. You need to create a whole world around what you sell and what you do, because you need to give a bit of a personality, like a friend. You like your friends because they have a certain personality and identity, and you like brands exactly for the same reason. So it's good to create that whole world around your product and not just focus on the sort of functionality of what that product serves. Exactly. I appreciate you. I'm glad you like our Instagram page. We spent a lot of time on it. Absolutely.
Well, it shows. And can you talk a bit more about your side on the confounding the business? Like, what do you do regularly? Like, you say you're on budgeting. And what other type of things do you do in the business?
So the type of things I mainly focus on, as I said, is more the, let's say, business side of things. So when it comes to finances, of course, making sure we have enough money and where can we spend that money that we have. And then also spend a lot of time in marketing, meaning where and when should we run ads, or how can we increase our organic reach, some increasing our engagement, or also just the number of followers, and how to spread the word of Nopla, through whichever platform serves the best sort of purpose. And I also work a little bit on product development alongside with Mia, because I have maybe a little bit more of a technical eye on certain aspects. So when it comes to, materials and how they actually work, I tend to do more research around that, while she focuses more on the aesthetics and visual elements of it. And so then we tend to come together and do and finalize the work. And also when it comes to, for example, photo shoots that we do, Mia will take care more of the set design and who are the models, and I'll take care more of where is the location, when are we supposed to get there, so more the logistics side of things. And obviously, of course, talking about logistics, also the logistics of, inventory, making sure we have enough products in stock, when do we have to reorder, and all of that jazz. Yeah.
No, that's amazing because not many times business pay attention to the budgeting and financing. Can you give us a piece of advice for other green businesses on and budgeting and financing?
Well, obviously, I would say try and do as many things as you can, also because if you do them, you're going to learn through doing. It might take you much longer than hiring someone else, but if you have interest in that certain aspect of the business, and if you're somewhat interested in learning that skill, that is absolutely the best opportunity to do so, because you're forced to make it work. So it might not work at the start, obviously, because you don't really have the skills for it, but you're going to keep going over and over it, and you're going to eventually learn. And also because of this, you need to do as many things as you can, but obviously you can't do everything. And this for this reason, you need to find people around you as much as you can that can help you and that see your vision and are happy to somewhat support your vision. And the best way to do this and find this sort of team around you, in my opinion, is to also share your skills with them. You know, they might be having their own projects that they're running, and you might have skills that they don't have. So to me, that's absolutely the most valuable way to create a team around you, where you're all supporting each other's projects and just going forward. Yeah.
So that's great. So you do have that communication with your team. Like, what do you want to achieve, and if you can, you help them to achieve their goals too, right?
Absolutely. So it's me and Mia working full time on this, but around us we have other people that will either work maybe just on one specific project, and instead we also have other people that keep coming back, and so they work more in a part time way, let's say. So when we need their help, they'll come over, and vice versa. But then, as I said, for example. Mia, she's very good with set design, and I myself also make a little bit of music. So all the music and stuff you might hear around our pages, that comes from myself. So when we, for example, work with our photographer, and she's maybe working on another photo shoot for another purpose, whatever project, then if we can help, we're more than happy to help, of course, because we're more than aware that that time will come back on our projects from her side. So that's absolutely, in my opinion, the best way to work and collaborate.
That's great. And that to say that you made the music on all the on your Instagram account, it's great because those little details is what injects like the soul to the brand.
I like that. Thank you. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Absolutely. Yeah. As I said, you need to try and, in my opinion, really create a world around what you do, and the more sort of sensory cues that you manage to give, the easier that world is it comes to place. The easier it happens.
Great. Uh, can you tell us a bit more about the challenges that you have encountered on your business so far?
Hey, yeah, there's a few. I would say the main challenge as a eco-friendly brand that I believe there's a lot of people always mentioning this is making sure everything you do is sustainable. That is absolutely very hard. So I think a lot of people focus on the product, meaning are the materials on the product I sell sustainable? Is the packaging in which I ship it also sustainable? But it goes deeper than that. You also need to be aware of the whole process of how that product is actually manufactured and how it's delivered to yourself before you deliver it to your customers. And there's a lot of steps and a lot of people trying to cut corners. And also, unfortunately, this has become a bit, I mean, unfortunately, luckily it has become a trend, but unfortunately there's people seeing this uniquely as a trend. So they tend to offer a few solutions that when you actually analyze them properly, they aren't as sustainable as they maybe claim. So that is something that we struggled with quite a lot, into just making sure everything is sustainable and ethically sourced and produced, and the overall sort of picture is true and actually reliable. But apart from that, which it's absolutely probably the number one challenge, I would say another challenge is that there are a lot of solutions out there to help your workflow, which unfortunately are not so sustainable. So, for example, we do a lot of prototyping for fun to come up with product developments, and we realized a very cheap, effective way to create prototypes was with a 3D printer. And 3D printer is amazing, but unfortunately it uses either ABS and other types of plastic, or the somewhat more sustainable alternative is PLA. But even PLA itself is not, as biodegradable and compostable as we all claim if you actually try it out. And so it's also important to find ways to somewhat make these practices a bit more sustainable. So, for example, we managed to find a way to recycle our failed prints or prints that we don't need anymore. Or also another big thing, I'm from Italy myself, and I'm very lucky to have some very bright people in Italy that give me valuable advice. And it's good to actually be in physically with see them physically and actually get a chat with them, show them whatever projects you're working on face to face. The easiest way to get there is obviously by plane, which is absolutely not the most sustainable way to travel. So even there, if you find trust a reliable carbon offsetting project that you can donate to and offset your air miles, that is also another way to kind of go around it and somewhat improve your workflow while still being true to your cause as much as you can.
But the important thing is that you care. So when someone else presents an opportunity or a business product or a product that is sustainable, you will tend to choose that option. If someone develops a 3D print plastic that's actually compostable or is recyclable, you will choose that product, right? Because
Absolutely.
you're already with that mindset. And but the important thing is that you're starting and that you want to change.
Absolutely.
I love that. I'm fascinated by that process of the belt print a product from scratch. And can you guide us? Uh, can you show us how it works for someone that wants to start their own products? That they just have the idea. What takes to take that idea into an actual product?
It's definitely not an easy route, but it's very very fun and satisfying when you actually get your product in your hand. It's absolutely amazing. So when it came to more, I would say standard products. So for example, in our product line, we have bottles and coffee cups. For those products, what we did, we simply looked for suppliers and manufacturers which were already producing a product which was somewhat similar to what we had in mind. And with them, that is where you just simply need to start the chat, and you just start chatting and you understand to what extent can they customize your product. Obviously, as we started off, we had a very low budget and no client base yet. So we couldn't order in vast quantities of products. However, we wanted our products to be very customized with our colors, our shapes, where we could, with our logo on it. So it was there was a lot of negotiating in terms of trying to bump the quantity as low as possible, but maintaining a fairly reasonable price per unit and maximizing the customization of everything. And that is not easy. It just takes time, and a lot of suppliers will simply go away because for them, unfortunately, they're maybe wasting a bit, you're maybe wasting a little bit their time because they maybe have big clients that order big quantities of product with minimal customization, which for them that's a dream because they just constantly output products. But if you truly have a vision for your product, I personally believe stick to it and take your time, find the right suppliers. And this is talking about the products which you can't manufacture yourself, of course. I mean, we don't have steel machinery here to make thermal bottles and all. So we outsourced all these products. However, instead, we now started selling candles, soy wax candles. And for those, we realized that we can internalize the whole process. So as I said, we have a 3D printer. So Mia drew the shapes that she felt were gonna be fairly unique and that resonated with our brand and our other products. And I modeled it on 3D softwares and printed it. Then refine sort of like finish the print because it comes out all with layers. So you need to somewhat sand it, work around it. You then make a mold with it, and there you have a mold. And then you pour your wax and find your techniques on how wax works and how the wick, how thick the wick has to be, what types of wicks, where can you source the wax, all of this. But for a product like that, for example, we realized we could internalize everything. So when it comes to that, we're doing it all in-house. And for that, it works. But obviously, for other things like, as I said, the bottle or coffee cup, you need to rely on suppliers for that. Yeah,
So it's finding that balance and which to find which products can you do in-house and which others you can do
exactly.
outside, right? But hopefully in the future you can uh, do all of that in-house.
Hey, that's a dream. That's a dream. Yes, yes.
So that brings me to the question: what's the future for your company? Where do you see it going?
So right now we are trying to be very how can I word this? We try to be local, meaning that we wanna have an impact in Glasgow, obviously in the UK, but even more specifically Glasgow. So we're based in Glasgow, Scotland, and so when I can, I'll take part in community activities that are happening around me. As I said, we're attending local markets and local fairs, meeting local businesses, and actually trying to get involved in the whole community. But for the future, we definitely want to try and expand and go a bit overseas. And Europe is definitely the next step. Also, me being Italian, I have some contacts down in Italy, and it would be amazing to find a way to bring also some products there and start somewhat of a fulfillment center from also Europe, and actually sort of expand the brand's outreach, because as of now from the UK we are somewhat struggling to find international customers. We're not in the easiest sort of position, but we're trying our best. And it's also good to consolidate your local market before you go further. You don't want to immediately claim that you can go international, and then you might just encounter too many problems, and also you might just delude yourself. You need to first find a proper customer base that like your products, they repeatedly buy them, and from there it then makes sense to expand once you have those experiences, for sure. So we're still very much learning as we go, every day, very much learning. Yeah.
So it's like learning to walk before running, right?
In a way, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely.
But at the same time, you still need to be a risk taker and try new things and experiment and just see what sticks and what's not, right?
For sure. Also because in a way, the sooner you fail, the quicker you learn what you failed and how you can minimize potential failures from then. But at the same time, you need to also make sure. We launched, for example, we launched in November 2020, and so we're still fairly new as a brand. And so I can't say with full guarantee that our products are absolutely fully tested, in my opinion. We still need to very much work on a loyal customer base, which we're slowly working towards to. But that's how I see it. Before moving on to a new market, I believe you really need to consolidate that initial market. Because if you can't consolidate that market, well, I think that's a red flag right there that you should assess very critically. Yeah.
Totally. And what do you think is your biggest business lesson so far?
Ooh, hey, there's the biggest lesson so far. Well, let's see. Well, definitely the what I somewhat mentioned before with finding a team. Finding people that you can go back to for advice, that you somewhat help them too. So there is definitely collaboration going on, and the more also they know you as a person, the easier it is for them to see your vision and actually want to support whatever you do. And the best way to get people to truly know you is also learning how to tell your story in the best way and most impactful way possible. Because this might sound a little cheesy, but we absolutely all have an amazing story to tell. But what I see a lot of the times is that people are just not that great at telling that story. So it's a matter of finding the right words at the right moment and tell them to the right person. And then the story becomes magical all of a sudden. And that's the best way, in my opinion, to connect with people. It's all about telling your story, hearing their story, and find where you can both relate and where you resonate. And that is where true collaboration happens, in my opinion.
That's amazing. And I used to be scared to speak in public, and I
Mm-hmm.
just went through the process of failing and doing miserably, and just starting to change a little bit. My confidence went up, and I don't know if that happened to you, but from what I hear, just started not telling your story that well, but as time moves on, you started to develop better storytelling skills. Is that right?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's not easy also because we're not really asked to tell our story and to talk in a sort of storyteller, manner. But it definitely helps also when you're pitching an idea or a project to anyone. You need to somewhat sell it. As much as we hate salesmen and all that sort of world and connotation around it, but we do need to connect to people, and the best way is by telling a true honest story that people relate to. And not everyone will relate to your story, and that's absolutely fine no matter how well you say it. But definitely the more you try, the more people you try to talk to, the more you listen as well. And when you hear people that tell a great story, well, try to analyze what was it that made me like get goosebumps, what was going on. And so yeah, it's a matter of just getting out there, and as you said, as yourself, you just try, you fail, and you keep going and you just keep doing it. Yeah.
Great. And for anyone that wants to buy your products, what's the best way? Is that it's entering into your website?
Absolutely, yeah. So we're on nopla.store. That is our website, and there you can find our full product range. And we just launched our candles very recently. And so, yeah, if you want to look, that's absolutely the best place to buy everything. Also, the cheapest place to buy our products. Yes.
Directly from you, right?
Exactly.
Perfect.
Exactly.
And how they can find you in your other social media, Facebook, Instagram?
So we're always nopla.store. So wherever you want to look, it's always nopla.store. And yeah, we're mainly focused on Instagram as of now. We also do share a lot on Facebook, but our main sort of social media platform for communications with customers and just sort of followers and is all through Instagram. Yes.
Perfect. Any final thoughts for the audience, Francesco, that I would like to share to other green businesses?
Final thought is try to create opportunities around you. And if you have an idea that you truly believe in, absolutely go for it. It's a roller coaster. There's moments where you're going to think you're God, and there's moments where you're going to think you're the worst human being ever with no ideas coming out of your mind. But it's just part of it. Every day is absolutely a new adventure, and it's very, very, very fun. And you can start step by step. A few hours a week working on the project. If you don't have full time to give full attention and dedication that you can put into that. So step by step, there's no sort of deadline to our ideas. You can take as long as you want, as little as you need. just go for it. Absolutely.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for those encouraging words.
Okay.
Guys, this was the Green City Podcast number 7 with Francesco Cappellini, co-founder of nopla. Go check him out. They're an amazing brand, an upcoming amazing brand, and I hope to see you soon.
Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for having me.